and welcome to Dialogue with Deidre. I'm your host, Deidre Malone. Happy New Year! I've not been with you this new year, and so this is our very first show in the new year, and so I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy and prosperous 2014, because I just believe, I hope you do too, that this is my year. A lot of things going on in 2014, and I just believe that this is my year. So, wishing you a very, very good and prosperous Happy New Year. So, as we do on Dialogue with Deidre, we bring you very interesting guests that have a positive effect on the Memphis and Shelby County community. And so, the guest in our first half hour is Thurston Smith. And he is a nationally recognized behavioral health consultant and trainer. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about an appointment that he has. He has a very important appointment that was made by the mayor of Shelby County. He is the chairman of the Juvenile Justice Consortium. And there's a lot of work going on in this community when it comes to juvenile justice. As a former member of the Shelby County Commission, I think you've heard me talk about in the past when, I advanced the resolution for a second judgeship. And the court kind of knocked that down. But I still think that we need a couple of more elected judges over there in juvenile court, my opinion, and that is just that. And as you know, when I was there, Commissioner Henry Brooks also filed a complaint with the Justice Department. And so there's a lot of changes going on over in juvenile court. And so we have the chairman of the Juvenile Justice Consortium with us here today to just talk about what their role is and get a better feel for what's going on here in Memphis and Shelby County when it comes to juvenile justice. So I'm excited about having Thurston on our show. In the second half hour, you've heard about this young man. He's the founder of Hattiloo Theater, and he's doing a phenomenal job in terms of making sure that he has, and I think he's raised all of the capital for the new Hattiloo Theater that's being built over in Overton Square. And so Ekandayo Bandele is going to be here in our second half hour to talk about a show that's coming up in January that you may want to attend, and also to give you an update on what's going on with this season that's coming up here in 2014 and everything else that's exciting that's going on with his new theater. So, really good show for you today, Memphis and Shelby County. You're watching MUTV1.com. I'm Deidre Malone, and we'll be back in a short minute.
The Carter Malone Group is a full-service public relations agency. Celebrating 10 years of being in business, the Carter Malone Group is located in Midtown Memphis and represents clients across the country. No matter what size your business, if you are interested in promoting your product or service and increasing your market share, contact the firm that can help you meet your goals. The Carter Malone Group. Call 901-278-0881 today.
This past year, we all learned the statistics are true. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will experience child abuse, usually at the hands of someone they know. Child abuse happens every day. Learn the signs and take action, because keeping a child safe is everybody's business. Make a difference. Visit safehorizon.org to find out more. Safe Horizon, moving victims of violence from crisis to confidence.
Did you know that every 34 seconds someone has a heart attack? Every 40 seconds someone has a stroke? But it doesn't have to be that way. Every day there's hope. Join me and the American Heart Association and get serious about your heart and your health. If you're doing nothing, do something. If you're doing something, do more. Find healthy living solutions from the American Heart Association's My Heart, My Life. It's that simple.
I'm Dominique Dawes. How do you start your day? I always start with a healthy breakfast. Whether you're practicing for a game or studying for a test, eating breakfast every day can improve your concentration and help you perform your best. Kids who eat a healthy breakfast have more energy to work hard and play hard. That's why you should check out your school's breakfast program. It's for everyone, so make sure you energize your day. Eat school breakfast.
Taylor Brown is my drugstore.
No, Taylor Brown is my drugstore.
Taylor Brown is our community drugstore.
No hassle transfer, auto refills, as well as a $4 generic program. Taylor Brown offers deliveries to all customers, including care homes, senior citizens, and hospice.
Taylor Brown accepts Express Scripts, Humana, Cigna, Medco, TennCare, and more.
And remember, it is by us, for us.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Dialogue with Deidre. I'm your host, Deidre Malone. Happy New Year. And as I shared with you, we have a guest in this first half hour that's going to talk about what the Juvenile Justice Consortium is, tell us what it is and what they've been doing, what they've been charged with in terms of what their responsibilities are. And we're just going to, educate the public on the Juvenile Justice Consortium. Thurston Smith, welcome to Dialogue with Deidre.
Thank you, Deidre. Pleasure to be here.
Okay,
this is awesome.
So Thurston, first of all, I want you to just educate our audience briefly on your background. Now, this is your public service piece. But what do you do every day?
What do I do? Well, I'm currently employed with the Veterans Health Administration here in Memphis. I've been a public servant within the VA for the past 15 plus years.
Okay.
Minus 6 months of that, I was actually with the Justice Department in DC. But the overall amount of time that I've been in federal service has been with the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Okay.
I am an outpatient program manager
Wonderful.
for the Chemical Dependency Center, which is a part of the overall mental health services menu So the drug treatment program is actually a component of the mental health services.
Well, what we'd like to do is, for a future show, have you come back and talk about that, because what we realize is that our veterans go through so much.
Yes.
As a part of their service for this country.
Yes.
And so to be able to have someone that can help them on an outpatient basis with any type of substance abuses that they may have.
Right.
We just want to talk to you about it at some
Sounds
point in the
good.
near future.
PTSD, and it's a full range of issues that veterans, if I can say this briefly,
Sure.
veterans suffer with all of the existing maladies and conditions, health conditions that the general population suffers from, plus they have an additional set of problems subsequent to many of them serving in Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom in Iraq, and Operation New Dawn. Several of those issues are similar to traumatic brain injury.
Oh, yes.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, and obviously you referenced substance abuse. So we would love to come back and talk with you a little bit more about that.
I mean, you know, my experience has been that I've had to work with, and I've had employees who've had, you know, loved ones who've had people to go, you know, and fight the wars and come back, and they just have a lot of challenges. So I'd love to hear what the VA is doing to try and help, you know, our servicemen and women when they come back home. So we'll we'll book that. Latrivia, make sure you book that. We want to have Thurston to come back. But today we want to talk about, you know, you're the chairman of the Juvenile Justice Consortium. Talk to us a little bit about what that is, and I know that the current Shelby County Mayor Mark Luttrell appointed you to that commission.
Yes.
And you're the chairman, which is an awesome responsibility. But what is the consortium?
Yes, sir. Well, the consortium, and you referenced earlier, Deidre, a few historical points about the County Juvenile Justice Consortium. Part of the onset of the consortium's formation actually began with Henry Brooks' complaint regarding disproportionate minority contact. And that's a term actually that historically was disproportionate minority confinement. But the Justice Department changed the terminology. Now we refer to that as disproportionate minority contact. But it was her complaint that served as a precursor to what we now have in existence, which is a memorandum of agreement between the U.S. Justice Department and the Shelby County government surrounding several violations, disproportionate minority contact being one of the predominant ones among a list of problems that were identified within the Shelby County juvenile justice system. The consortium's primary role is to serve as a liaison between the juvenile court system of Memphis, Shelby County, and the general public. And we were formed, actually I think it was back in March or April of 2013. So we have still been reviewing several documents. We're still early in our
in your
formation.
Process?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so all of us are still, there's a great deal of reading that we have to do as consortium members. But the overall goal of the consortium is to, as we examine the county's conformance to the memorandum of agreement, as referenced by the due process monitor of the Department of Justice. They recently visited us approximately 2 months ago, and actually there was a commercial appeal article that came out, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Are they saying that that the court's making some progress?
Actually, that's exactly what they're saying.
Okay, that's good.
That there has been some progress made since the initial memorandum of agreement between the Justice Department and Shelby County government.
I can tell you that when Henry filed that complaint, she asked us to sign it, some commissioners, her colleagues to sign it. So the majority of us signed on, specifically the Democrats. We signed when she put that big binder together. We all reviewed it, and we signed the initial letter. that she actually hand-delivered the binder to D.C. Right. And so a lot of people just thought, okay, here's Commissioner Brooks again, you know, raising a red flag, and there's really nothing to it. Right. But, you know, the Justice Department came back and said it was substantial.
Yes.
And so I was really glad to hear that juvenile court took the opinion that, okay, we can make some changes. This is important for us to do. You know, the Justice Department is saying that we need to do this, so let's put together a plan and let's execute that plan.
Exactly. Exactly. And I remember Dr. Harrington, former Memphis mayor, only 5 or 6 months ago, in his push for the school initiative, talking about a visit that he paid to the Shelby County Juvenile Detention Center, and said that it put him in tears seeing all of these youth in orange jumpsuits. Well, I had the same experience, and it was a very, very overwhelming seeing 12 and 13, 14-year-olds and just dressed in confinement attire, if you will, if I'm using the right terminology, and then the overwhelming or resounding message that I left the detention center with, Deidre, and is that practically 99.9% of the children within the detention center are African American. And I've had multiple discussions with members of the Juvenile Justice Consortium, to include members of the county government, as well as elected officials within Memphis and Shelby County, and framing my discussion points appropriately. It's not that I want to see non-African Americans within the system.
That's not what you want to see.
But the message that this sends is almost like all of your crime, that all of your adolescent or youth-related crimes are committed by African Americans, and we know that's not so. And I've even had such a fine discussion with a member of the county government to hear them actually say, no, Mr. Smith, we understand that that's not the case, but actually children within the suburbs that are non-people of color, non-minorities, are handled differently.
Well, that was one thing, and that's true.
Right.
And that's something that when I was on the commission, it really came out when you looked at the percentage and the number of youth that were either given like probation, you didn't have to spend any time in detention, you could go on, do some community service, or overwhelmingly it was Caucasian children. But when you looked at the number of youth that were manded over to adult court or had to serve time in juvenile detention, it was overwhelmingly African American. And that was something we discussed as a body, because that was problematic for us. Because one thing, I remember having this discussion with Judge Bernice Donald. And when she looked at the pipeline of youth, how they started out as youth and maybe were held over in juvenile detention, and then rather than being given the opportunity to say, let me give you some community service, we don't want to see you back here again, because if you are, then you're going to have to be in detention. A lot of African American children are not given that opportunity, so then they're in the prison pipeline. And so, that's something that...
and to some degree, it seemingly, if you look at the criminal justice system in America as a whole, and particularly how people of color have historically, even the Justice Department's own data supports this, has disproportionately made up the total population. One would have to say that that the need for some more comprehensive strategies for how we address offenders, both adolescents and adults for that matter, would be beneficial socially. Just to give you some general statistics or a particular point that crosses over into the realm of substance abuse, $1 invested in drug treatment saves our society approximately $8. It costs more money to house somebody within the industrialized prison complex per annum.
Right.
Annual. I think in the state of Tennessee, it costs approximately $52,000 to house an inmate within the state prison system for 1 year. $1 invested in treatment will save us multiple dollars in societal costs, loss of work productivity, all of those types of things. So it's a systemic problem that we're dealing with. And although you didn't use this term when you made the comment a little while ago, due process is another one of those infractions that the Justice Department identified within the Shelby County Juvenile Justice System.
And the word that I was searching for, Thurston, was diversion. And and it just hit me. A lot of the suburban kids were given diversion,
right,
whereas the inner city kids were not.
Which is another way of saying alternative.
Exactly. Now, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. You're listening to and you're looking at, and we're having dialogue with Thurston Smith, who's the chairman of the Juvenile Justice Consortium here in Memphis and Shelby County. We'll continue our dialogue when we come back.
The Carter Malone Group is a full-service public relations agency. Celebrating 10 years of being in business, the Carter Malone Group is located in Midtown Memphis and represents clients across the country. No matter what size your business, if you are interested in promoting your product or service and increasing your market share, contact the firm that can help you meet your goals. The Carter Malone Group. Call 901-278-0881 today.
This past year, we all learned the statistics are true. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will experience child abuse, usually at the hands of someone they know. Child abuse happens every day. Learn the signs and take action, because keeping a child safe is everybody's business. Make a difference. Visit safehorizon.org to find out more. Safe Horizon, moving victims of violence from crisis to confidence.
More than 1.1 million Americans are living with HIV today. Nearly half of them are Black.
HIV and AIDS is a major issue in our community.
Nearly 60% of Black Americans know someone who is living with HIV or has died of AIDS.
For many, it's a family member or a close friend.
Today in America, no one needs to die of AIDS.
But too many people still are because of the stigma.
We need to speak up and talk openly with our partners, our families, and our friends.
We know how to prevent new infections, and there are life-saving treatments for those living with the disease.
Know your HIV status.
If you don't know, find out.
With early diagnosis and treatment, you can live a long, healthy life.
And you know what? People who take their medication regularly reduce the risk of transmission by 96%. 96%. That's pretty amazing.
We can end this. And everybody has a role to play.
It's time for us to come together and be greater than AIDS.
I'm MC Light.
I'm Michael Jai White.
I'm Layla Ali.
I'm Vanessa Williams.
I'm Orlando Jones. And I
am greater than AIDS.
And I'm greater than AIDS.
And I'm greater than AIDS.
Join the movement. Learn more at greaterthan.org.
With Deidre. I'm your host, Deidre Malone. Thurston Smith, chair of the Juvenile Justice Consortium here in Memphis and Shelby County, is my guest this half hour. And Thurston, how many members are on the consortium board?
The mayor is responsible, if I'm correct, for appointing 9 members. And those members have to be confirmed by the county commission, Shelby County Commission. Mm-hmm. And then there are, I believe, an additional 7 members that come from the existing Juvenile Justice Board. Okay. And actually, there was an existing Memphis Shelby County Juvenile Justice Board that was in existence prior to the memorandum of agreement between the U.S.
It was called disproportionate something. I remember that. There was like a community board at one point, and I guess that one dissolved. But I forgot to mention that we're on Facebook, and if you have any questions that you want to ask Thurston, please post it on Facebook. And what we'll do is, even if we don't get to it today, we'll forward that question to Thurston, and we'll make sure that he responds, and we'll post it on Facebook so you'll have a response. So Thurston, so that's good. So the mayor appoints some, and then there's already some that are.
Well, there was an existing Juvenile Justice Board that was independent of the Juvenile Justice Consortium. The consortium was formed per
the memorandum of understanding,
from the Justice Department. The Justice Department told told Shelby County government, as a result of the findings during their visit subsequent to the investigation, that you need to establish a citizens review body. So that's the consortium. That was the birth of the consortium.
So now the consortium, though, who do you report to?
Well,
would it be the Justice Department directly?
How do I explain this? It's a quasi. The consortium is a quasi governmental body. Mm-hmm. Every meeting of the consortium, we have one of the county attorneys, and it's usually Craig Willis, assistant. County attorney, and we often have Bill Scruggs, who works for the mayor, Thomas Coupe, who is the supervisor for the juvenile court, and those individuals serve as mechanisms in which for the consortium to share some of its concerns and actually solicit information from the court regarding its progress and that type of thing. So in terms of reporting, the mayor gets information about the consortium's progress, as does the leadership within Shelby County government, and then also through their reports, the Justice Department of Washington.
So then,
if I explained that,
no, you did. So the mayor receives the report, and the commission probably receives the report. I would hope. If not, they should. Thurston. Right. If not, they should.
Right.
And then the
memorandum of agreement, and you can go to the website, and the URL is very long, www.shelbycounty/something. But if you can go to the Shelby County government website and find and just type in the search area for Juvenile Justice Consortium, you'll be able to not only pull up the memorandum of understanding between the Justice Department and Shelby County government, but you also therein you also find the consortium's overall scope and responsibility. And actually, in the memorandum of understanding, it does not give us specific instructions as to who to report to anyone specifically.
I know.
It just says that we will work and interface with the community and the Shelby County juvenile justice system. And serve as a liaison primarily between the general public and the Shelby County juvenile justice system regarding the Shelby County juvenile justice system's progress and reforms as it relates to the historical investigation.
Now, I remember it was really controversial when the memorandum of understanding was signed by the current county mayor and the judge without even a review from the legislative body, who has to fund all of the actions associated with it. It was really controversial, but I don't want to digress and get you involved in that. But what I do want to talk to you about is talk to me about the community monitor piece. I mean, you've had monitors come in already from the Justice Department, I think, to review to see if there's any progress being made. Right.
And that progress has been identified by the justice monitors. 2 were here. I think that was in November. It wasn't December, so it was November. And actually, there was a commercial appeal article that was written about it. And we received information from those monitors, very general information, that in fact the Shelby County Detention Center, Shelby County Juvenile Justice System, not the detention center per se,
but just overall,
has been making progress in the areas of due process, disproportionate minority contact, and that type of thing. The consortium meets at 5 p.m. every third Thursday of the month. We'll be meeting next Thursday.
And that's a public meeting?
Our meetings are not public, but I'm glad that you mentioned that. The memorandum of agreement says that the Juvenile Justice Outreach Program, which is the consortium, is an integral component of, in tandem with the juvenile court, is to host 2 public meetings per year, per the memorandum of agreement.
Wonderful.
The consortium held its first public meeting last year in June at the Benjamin Hooks Library on Poplar, and we are planning for the next public meeting. But our general meetings of the consortium are not public, or they're not open to the public.
Well, let us know when the next community-wide meeting is, because we'd love to let the community know via our show and try and get some additional people out there who are interested. I remember my time on the commission when we were just kind of delving into some of the challenges that they were having, not necessarily with the juvenile court piece, but the child support piece. We had people who would really come out to these community meetings because they had major issues with the court. And so any way we can help you to try and get that message out, we'd love to do that.
Thank you very much.
So our time is wrapping up, Thurston. So if there's any last thoughts that you'd like to share with our viewers on the consortium, or just in general, please do. If they want to reach out to you and just follow up and ask you any questions, we've offered them to post questions on Dialogue with Deidre's Facebook page. But if they wanted to reach out to you directly, how could they do that?
If you have information that you'd like to receive regarding the Shelby County Juvenile Justice Consortium, you can reach us via email at shelbycountycjjc@gmail.com. That's shelbycountycjjc@gmail.com. My direct number is 901-825-4492. That's 901-825-4492.
Thurston, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
We'll have you back. I think Latrivia's already emailed you to try and see when we can get you back on, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
You're watching Dialogue with Deidre. We'll be back in a moment.
The Carter Malone Group is a full-service public relations agency. Celebrating 10 years of being in business, the Carter Malone Group is located in Midtown Memphis and represents clients across the country. No matter what size your business, if you are interested in promoting your product or service and increasing your market share, contact the firm that can help you meet your goals. The Carter Malone Group. Call 901-278-0881 today.
This past year, we all learned the statistics are true. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will experience child abuse, usually at the hands of someone they know. Child abuse happens every day. Learn the signs and take action, because keeping a child safe is everybody's business. Make a difference. Visit safehorizon.org to find out more. Safe Horizon, moving victims of violence from crisis to confidence.
More than 1.1 million Americans are living with HIV today. Nearly half of them are black.
HIV and AIDS is a major issue in our community.
Nearly 60% of black Americans know someone who is living with HIV or has died of AIDS.
For many, it's a family member or a close friend.
Today in America, no one needs to die of AIDS.
But too many people still are because of the stigma.
We need to speak up and talk openly with our partners, our families, and our friends.
We know how to prevent new infections, and there are life-saving treatments for those living with the disease.
Know your HIV status.
If you don't know, find out.
With early diagnosis and treatment, you can live a long, healthy life.
And you know what? People who take their medication regularly reduce the risk of transmission by 96%. 96%. That's pretty amazing.
We can end this.
And everybody has a role to play.
It's time for us to come together and be greater than AIDS.
I'm MC Light.
I'm Michael Jai White.
I'm Layla Ali.
I'm Vanessa Williams.
I'm Orlando Jones, and I am greater than AIDS.
And I'm greater than AIDS.
And I'm greater than AIDS.
Join the movement. Learn more at greaterthan.org.
Did you know that every 34 seconds someone has a heart attack? Every 40 seconds someone has a stroke. But it doesn't have to be that way. Every day there's hope. Join me and the American Heart Association and get serious about your heart and your health. If you're doing nothing, do something. If you're doing something, do more. Find healthy living solutions from the American Heart Association's My Heart, My Life. It's that simple.
I'm Dominique Dawes. How do you start your day? I always start with a healthy breakfast. Whether you're practicing for a game or studying for a test, eating breakfast every day can improve your concentration and help you perform your best. Kids who eat a healthy breakfast have more energy to work hard and play hard. That's why you should check out your school's breakfast programs. It's for everyone, so make sure you energize your day. Eat school breakfast.
Taylor Brown is my drugstore.
No, Taylor Brown is my drugstore.
Taylor Brown is our community drugstore.
No hassle transfer, auto refills, as well as a $4 generic program. Taylor Brown offers deliveries to all customers, including care homes, senior citizens, and hospice.
Taylor Brown accepts Express Scripts, Humana, Cigna, Medco, TennCare, and more.
And remember, it is by us, for us.
AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
I've already wished you a happy new year, but let me just tell you about something that I'm so excited about as a part of this new year. The Deidre Malone Group, our firm, is representing Hattiloo Theater. Yes, we are, and we're so proud of that. As a part of that, I want to share with you the fact that Sameka Ballard Johnson, who is the managing director for Hattiloo, is my guest. Ekandayo couldn't make it. He couldn't be in 10 places at one time. Correct. But he sent a heck of a representative. Welcome to Dialogue with Deidre.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about what's going on here in the month of January. Okay. You've got a big event coming up, and we want people to know about it because this is a small fundraiser for the organization, right?
Correct,
Sameka?
correct.
Talk to me about it.
Sing His Praises. Hattiloo is actually putting on an inaugural event fundraiser for our children's programs as well as all of our outreach programs. And Sing His Praises is actually one that is simply a benefit concert provided to us by several local artists groups that are here in the city. Mm-hmm. We'll have Deborah Manning Thomas out as Mahalia.
Oh, she can sing.
Yes, ma'am. And she's
Deborah.
coming out, and she's actually doing a couple of numbers for us, and she's doing one, of course, we always love her as Mahalia, and she's also going to do a few selections of her own. She's actually preparing for a single that will be out sometime this year or
That's
within
wonderful.
the season. And we also have Dante Everhart and End Time Movement. We have Miracle Temple's Sanctuary Choir. We also have the wonderful Barnes
Apostle
family.
Smith.
Yes, yes. And we're so happy. Let's see, and Bridging Souls dance production team. And so we're so excited, and Destiny Jennings is coming out as a guest soloist. So we're excited about everybody that's coming out to support us in the ways that they are, as well as the patrons that are going to come out as well. So.
Let me just say, this is really the kickoff event for 2014 as you move into your new theater,
yes,
correct?
Yes, ma'am. We're getting ready. We're packing up pretty soon. We'll
really?
be moving out this time, sometime midsummer, and we're getting ready for that.
Okay, so now talk to me about the cost for this event. It's at the Orpheum Theater, right?
It is at the Orpheum downtown. We're excited to have it there. Our ticket cost, or our donation, is $15, and you can go to our website. There's a click there where you'll be able to connect to the Orpheum or Ticketmaster, and with that there are fees or ticketing fees that do apply, so you'll see a difference in the price, but the donation is $15.
So what she's basically saying, viewers, is the $15 does go to Hattiloo Theater.
Correct.
And so the added charges, Ticketmaster has to have their fee for processing.
They have to work. Correct.
Don't let that deter you, because this is going to be an excellent event.
Yes,
I mean, local folk who can sing.
Yes, we can get down.
We can get down.
Memphis will represent. The gospel will represent.
I am so excited about it. Yes. So make sure you go to the Hattiloo's website, go to the Orpheum, or go to Ticketmaster.
Correct. And I also wanted to mention, if I may, there are group tickets available for 10 persons or more. If you'd like to take a group of 10 or more, you can actually call 525-3000. That's the Orpheum's box office, and there you'll be able to get a discounted ticket there.
Oh, that's
I believe
wonderful.
they are $17.50 straight across.
Well, let me just say, churches in the community, you have group events that you have. This would be an excellent event for your youth group or your seniors group. Or, your men's ministry, your women's ministry, couples ministry.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
So bring the family out. Churches, you need to make sure that you represent. And then the general public. Absolutely. It's going to be such an awesome event, so make sure you attend. So let's talk a little bit about the new season and the new theater.
Yes, ma'am.
What can we expect coming up?
Oh, expect various arrangements of productions. Hattiloo is always full of surprises. And of course, our new season is not made public yet.
Right.
We will have our subscriptions coming up soon for sale. But the new season will be filled with a variety of shows from, small cast members of actual group, larger casts as well. So you will be in for a treat as usual. And then of course this will be our premiere for our new building. It will be the grand opening season, and we're excited. I believe we did just have some auditions for our grand opening musical that will be taking place at the new theater. So we're really excited about it. We had some great auditioners come out and it was a pretty close audition, so we had to try to figure out who we were going to actually cast for that. So it was a wonderful turnout.
So that's exciting for you as the managing director. What is your role as a part of the? Because it's a big. Ekundayo founded this theater.
Correct, 2006.
Oh my goodness, and he's just done a phenomenal job.
He has
pulling in the public to support Hattiloo Theater. Correct. So talk to us about your role as the managing director.
As managing director, I always like to say I am all things Hattiloo. Anything that goes on, I am responsible to know what's going on in regards to ticket sales, in regards to any volunteer opportunities, in regards to auditions or productions that are going on. And I am in the office. I'm upstairs. I don't get a chance to do a lot of the running around except to come and represent and speak as a spokesperson, but I'm making sure that the building is kept intact, making sure that our auditions are carrying on, our calendared events are taking place, as well as some people may rent our building, and so I'm there to take care of that as well. And so I just want to make sure, as Mr. Bandele is out raising money or gaining funds or going to speak at different events, I am there to continue the flow.
And let me just say, he's amazing.
He is.
He has done something else. Such a phenomenal and so much energy.
Yes, there is.
He's raised all of this money for this new building. It's
over $4 million.
$4 million.
Yes, and we're grateful that our building that's not completed yet is already taken care of. And we're excited about just the support that Memphis has given us. And if you think about it, starting in 2006 up to our present day, within our office or our administrative office, he did a lot by himself.
Right.
And then there were supporters, there were our company members that were there to fill in or support in any way possible. But there's so much appreciation that I have for him, and looking at and admiring the push or the drive that he had, not just to entertain the city of Memphis, but to make Hattiloo relevant.
Exactly.
There's so much that Hattiloo offers besides just doing plays. We are here to develop or introduce a higher level of cultural identity for our community, for the Black African American community.
And let me just say, it's a cultural thinking type of theater, because you may have a play, but sometimes you also have a panel where you bring people in and you discuss relevant issues that our community is dealing with today.
Correct.
And so, it's much more than, I want to go see a play.
Correct.
It is a thought-provoking type of environment associated with Hattie.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, we do our Dream Girls. We do, we do Grease. We do Ma Rainey's Black Bonnet. There are entertainment plays. As a matter of fact, if I may say this, our opening for One Monkey Don't Stop No Show is tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So we open with One Monkey Don't Stop No Show, which is actually a comedy that I'm sure that the audience will get a kick out of. So there are light productions that we do. There are thought-provoking productions that we do. But we always want everyone to know that there's a purpose behind everything that Hattiloo does.
Now, talk to me about the new building. you know, people are really getting excited. I mean, you know, sponsors, supporters, they're getting excited, and the general public should be getting excited about this.
Yes, we're hearing about it.
What is going to be so different in terms of where we are right now to the new facility?
Okay. Well, right now, I can say, if you can picture it in your head, right now our main stage holds about 66 to 70 individuals for an entire production. Well, you take that and you can set that particular stage into our new main stage twice. So we'll go from about 60 seats to 100, and I think maybe 160 seats. And so that way you'll see the growth in there. And we'll go into a 10,000 square foot, over 10,000 square foot building. And so we're excited about it. It will still be intimate. A lot of our patrons ask, are we still going to be able to have the intimacy? And we will still have it. So we just want to make it to where a larger capacity can be fitted.
Okay. And then it's like you're going into, we're really now creating a theater district.
Correct.
With the location change.
Absolutely. I believe Theater Works is in the theater district. We also have Playhouse on the Square, and then several others that are right there in that Midtown Cooper and Madison. They're all in that area. Florence and Monroe. So we'll just be added in. We will actually kind of anchor the entire theater district. So
what do you need from the general public, Sameka, in terms of what do you want them to know? What's a takeaway? What do you, from this interview, what do you want them to take away about Hattiloo? And if there's anything that you can share with them to try and get them engaged in what Hattiloo is trying to do for this community, what would you share with them?
I would first say 3 words. Hattiloo is at your service. We are here for the city of Memphis. We want to let individuals and patrons and families and schools and organizations know that Hattiloo is here for you. If there's anything that Hattiloo can do in partnering to maybe present a presentation at a school, if there's any way possible, we want to be there. We want to be made available to do that. If there is a production that someone is interested in seeing, an organization may want to come in, have a group of their individuals come in. We're here for that. You know, we're also calling ourselves a place where we can give a platform to local artists. A lot of times we have local artists in the city who only are heard about because of a small club that may allow them to spotlight for one night. But we have something called the Black Arts Fest, which is absolutely free during the springtime, and you'll hear more about that soon to come. But in the springtime, we also have the Black Arts Fest that we put on local black artists that end up becoming a little more famous within the city. And so we have that. We also have our children's programs, Camp Awareness, that's also open for children's 13 and under. And that has been absolutely free during our school year, this past year. And that is what we want to make available to our children, to the families, as well as just to the city.
Okay.
Also, let me see, that was Black Arts Fest, Camp Awareness, and then our children's theater. Our children's theater is amazing. We just did Charlotte's Web this year, and that way we want individuals to know that Hattiloo is not just an adult entertainment. It's a family environment. They sold out every show.
Don't tell me. I've got a 5-year-old grandson.
They sold out.
We're going to have to get him engaged.
Yes, ma'am. And so there are children that would love to act. And we want to let them know that the house is open. Hattiloo is open to that as well. And if there's any way, like I said, that's possible, we love to do things with the Civil Rights Museum. We love to do something with some schools. We've done some things with nonprofit organizations as well to let people know that Hattiloo is not just a place for entertainment, but we're here to serve as well.
Well, we do know that Ekadayu is going to be one of the celebrity judges for the Poetry Slam for the National Civil Rights Museum as a part of their grand reopening. So we were so excited to have him involved.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we're about to wrap up, we got about 30 seconds. I want you to reiterate to our viewers what's coming up in January with singing His Praises.
All right, Sing His Praises, January 16th, which is next Thursday. We're asking, it's a $15 donation. You have to go through our website or through the Orpheum or through Ticketmaster to receive tickets from there. And the tickets for 10 or more would be $17.50, and you can call 525-3000, or you can call Hattiloo's box office 525-0009, and we can walk you through.
Sameka Ballard Johnson, Managing Director for the Hattiloo Theater. Thank you so much for being on Dialogue with Deidre.
No problem.
And now we're going to have you come back as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So viewers, thank you so much for watching the show today. You're watching Dialogue with Deidre. We wish you a happy new year, and we'll see you right back here next Wednesday at 1 o'clock on MUTV1.com. God bless.